Aloha Kakayaka. My name is Mariette Haunani Lee. I grew up in Hawaii in a little town called Kaneohe. So we grew up in what we call the Valley of the Plenty. My grandfather grew everything under the sun, from coconut trees to mango trees to papayas to guava trees. We ate off the land. And my mother grew the gardens where she had strawberries and lettuce and cabbage and green onions, every kind of fruit, your fruit that grew in the ground, we had. We even had California cherries. So all we needed to do was to go out into the yard and pick a fruit when we were hungry. We had everything, what they now today call organic. We grew organically. We grew and lived off the land. We didn't have any insecticides or anything like that. You have asked me to cook chicken and long rice, which is a traditional luau dish from the traditional way of doing it back in the day. And this is the most simplest recipe ever made because the Hawaiian people lived very simple. I am Hawaiian, I am Chinese, and I am English. So we have a blend of the nations here where we ate everything under the sun that you could think of that was Hawaiian, Chinese, and American. I have the traditional way of doing it, which is very simple, and I have also learned how to use today's Instant Pot. So to be honest, today I am trying to convert a lot of my traditional recipes into the Instant Pot to save time, and it does save time. The traditional Hawaiian long rice dish is part of the Hawaiian luau. Basically, we had our kalua pig, which we cooked in the ground in the imu. Then we had the chickens, and we raised the chickens. In fact, as a little girl, my grandmother used to make all of us go out, my sisters and brothers, and we were 7 of us. We had to go and chase the chickens around, catch them, and then she would butcher it. Chicken and long rice, supposedly, and this is what everybody says in the cookbooks and back into history, was a Chinese dish. The Chinese brought many dishes over at the time, and they mixed it up and blended it in with the Hawaiian food and whatever was the cheapest and economical to make. So many people did grow chickens in the country, and they mixed it with very few ingredients: salt, pepper, which are the seasonings, and water to make a chicken broth. And the long rice was a bean thread noodle that the Chinese brought over. And so see, that became a dish that was able to, how would you say this, spread to feed the many large families that were born in those days. We had very large families. We had friends that had 8 to 9 children to 10 children. The most may have been 6 and 7 children, at least 5 or more. And so I grew up with families that had multiple children. And so we all had recipes that were cooked in pots, big pots, because we always had to have some kind of dish going on the stove when everybody came home and were hungry, and that's how our families were able to afford to feed large families.
Thank you, Grandma.
Oh, you're welcome, sweetheart. I love doing that. It's such an easy dish to cook. Remember, Grandma, when you're doing it. It's a fun time.